I'm John, and tonight I want answers about indictments. There's no stopping us now because we're live.
I'm John Thompson.
I'm John A. Vink.
I'm Keith Stattenfield.
I'm Loretta Beavers.
I'm AJ Minnick.
I'm Jennifer Sim.
I'm Bobby Chastain. These stories tonight on John Wants Answers.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says April 13th, 2023, then we're live. And our topic tonight is indictment.
Get your taxes done?
No, I have until October.
I know.
Because
Isn't it great?
I was in a flooded county.
Yeah,
apparently.
there were huge storms, and that means we get 6 more months to pay our taxes, apparently.
I don't get it because this year technically was like a normal year, and the last 5 years have been like drought years.
Now, there were more storms than normal.
More storms than normal?
Yeah.
They made a new word for it, atmospheric river.
No, they just started using it. like it's one of them trendy words.
Yeah.
But they've used
It's
it
not
before.
new?
It's not new.
I thought it was kind of like in the
No.
20 years new. No?
No.
Okay. My guest tonight is Keith Stattenfield. Again, he returns.
I did. Yeah, I'm back.
On the last 4 episodes,
Yeah, I've got
he's been on one.
like so many people messaging me like, for God's sakes, come back. We're tired of hearing about Bitcoin. That's what they said to me. They said, we're tired of the Bitcoin stuff. Go talk about something pointless, but not pointless like Bitcoin is pointless. Pointless like when Keith talks about pointless.
But since we've added all these Bitcoin episodes,
Yeah.
we've gotten so many new affiliates.
I know.
In fact, tonight I have 2 more affiliates to announce. Let's see. This is the old map. Now we added affiliates: the West Weathersfield Community TV in
Okay.
Weathersfield, Connecticut,
In Connecticut.
and Soundview Community Media in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Can you see them added? See? I can see those 2
something blinking.
little
Yeah.
stars blinking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You realize most people don't have that good at televisions that watch this.
they don't watch on the 65-inch TVs?
No, because I've always assumed most of our viewers are shut-ins
Yeah.
who have lost the remote control.
If you were shut in, wouldn't you want to have a nice big TV? What else are you going to do?
Okay, but
Right?
their vision might not be great.
Well, can't help that. No
Anyway,
size
let's
of TV will help that.
Just trust us. You can watch this show on many fine community access stations across this country,
And now 2 more Connecticut.
and now 2 more. But truthfully, most of the world still no.
Speaking of Bitcoin,
We weren't. No, we had agreed never to speak of Bitcoin again.
no. It's come out that Mac OS 10 has shipped with the Bitcoin white paper
Yeah.
embedded in the OS.
Yeah.
You
You're
heard
going to
about
ask me
this?
about it, aren't you?
Have you heard about it?
I have heard about it.
What's the deal with that, man?
Let's just say I'm in a lot of chat channels at group and
Mm-hmm.
at work, and let's just say the reason it's there has come out and I can't tell you, and it's very stupid.
Was it?
I can't tell you.
Is there a purpose behind it?
No.
You can't tell me?
No,
Oh, okay. So I guess someone just screwed up and put it in the wrong spot.
I wouldn't say that either. Let's just. It's very stupid.
Wow. How exciting.
Well, no, not exciting. Bitcoin. No one cared. No one cares.
Affiliates care. I've gotten more affiliates after all these Bitcoin episodes than you and I have ever gotten.
I don't think that's the reason.
Anyways, our first topic.
First topic.
Indictment.
Do we check if the guy's alive?
Oh,
Okay.
he was sleeping. He got bored during the Bitcoin
Got bored
talk.
during the Bitcoin talk.
And he was snoozing.
As with the rest of America.
So, my first question is, why is it pronounced indicted and not indicted?
English is a funny word. It's a funny language.
Yeah.
Like, it comes from England,
Yes, it
but
is.
like they had Germans came in and invaded and then became kings and queens for a while, and they had the French that kept invading. There's English just has sucked up words from all over the place, and its spelling does not actually make any sense whatsoever.
Okay. Is it part German?
Also, English spelling is frozen as of the point in time that Chuckles made the first dictionary. But pronunciation rules keep changing. So even if everything was in fact pronounced the way you'd think it should be pronounced from the way it's spelled, that was in the 1700s.
Oh. Okay.
Just be glad you can spell indicted. And can you spell indicted?
I'm
No, don't look. Look
I-N-
look straight into camera 2.
INDICTED.
Okay, now we got to check.
Well,
IND.
you're assuming I spelled it right the first time.
DICT. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so first of all, when is an indicted needed? Like, there was no grand jury when I was charged with public urination.
Okay.
They didn't convene a grand
Was
jury.
it a misdemeanor or a felony? Or was it a administrative action? Like
Well,
a ticket?
I settled out of court.
Okay. There are 2 ways you can get charged before a court. One is a preliminary hearing. That's where you show up in front of a judge and they say, we would like to charge this guy with the following. And here's why. And the judge listens. And then you have an opportunity, or your defense has an opportunity to say, I shouldn't be charged with that. And then the judge, a neutral third party, says, okay, we'll go forward or we won't go forward. Or a grand jury can indict you. And the grand jury is a group of people, usually between, I think in America it's 16 to 23. I don't remember why, but it's some moderate number of people. And a prosecutor can call up a grand jury and present evidence. Hey, we would like to charge this guy with this. And at the end of talking to them, he can say, hey, do 12 of you think we should charge this guy with this? And if 12 of them vote yes, he's allowed to charge you. And unlike in the preliminary hearing situation, you don't get to say why you shouldn't be charged.
Okay.
So prosecutors kind of like grand juries because they don't have to reveal as much information and they don't have to let the other guy push back to keep it from happening.
But before any trial happens, is there always an indictment or a preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Oh. So before arraignment.
Well, that's what arraignment is. Arraignment is you show up in front of a judge.
All I do is say
And-
not guilty, I thought.
Well, before that, the state presumably presented evidence of your crime,
Really? Okay.
which in a lot of cases the judge just accepts if it's a, like if you get a speeding ticket, you show up, the other officer shows up, the other officer said, I saw this guy doing 74 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone. And the judge says, okay, we'll have a court hearing on this date.
All right. When the previous president was indicted, he was invited to appear before the grand jury.
He was.
Is that normal or not normal?
I don't know if it's normal or not normal. I don't think it's that common.
Okay.
I don't know that you have a right to appear before a grand jury, but I think the prosecutor can invite you to appear before the grand jury.
Okay.
And if you appear before a grand jury, you are only going to dig yourself in deeper. So don't do it.
Okay. You have the right to remain silent.
And you should use it.
Okay. Now the saying goes, it's never the crime, it's the cover-up.
Well, that's once. Sometimes it is the crime. Like
Well,
if you murder a guy,
What's how they
when
get
they
you?
eventually send you to jail, it won't be for covering up that you murdered a guy. It will be for murdering a guy.
Maybe they catch you because you were covering it
But
up.
in some situations, it's easier to prove someone tried to cover something up and committed a crime in the process of doing that than to prove what they were originally doing.
So our former president was indicted. And
I've heard.
now, he wasn't charged with paying off a porn star.
He was
that
not.
was not the charge. It was
No.
falsifying business records.
Yes, which is a crime in New York and probably most other places.
Now, 34 counts. Was that like, because he wrote 34 different checks?
I think 17. I think 17 different checks.
And there's two,
And I think
Charges
there's
with each
2
one?
charges for each one. I don't
Oh.
recall why.
okay. And they're all just falsifying business records, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing they have them on?
Yeah. They could have chosen to charge him for one count of falsifying business records. Look, he wrote all these fake checks.
If he just labeled in his books, paying for people's silence, and it was, would that not be a crime then?
It would depend on what they then did with those business records, because businesses can deduct valid expenses against their, revenues and et cetera. Paying someone to keep silent because you had an affair is, in general, not a valid business expense.
Oh, okay.
And so it's the claiming of that as a business expense, which can be the crime.
Oh, the cover-up.
Technically, paying someone to have sex is also a crime. But paying
Well,
someone
paying
afterwards
someone
to
to
not
not talk
talk
about
about
it.
having sex, not a crime.
Not a crime. Okay. So how many people are on a grand jury?
I think in most places it's like 16 to 23.
Now, do they all have to vote unanimously?
That's 12.
So
12 have
of
to
them
vote.
have to vote yes. Okay.
That's
so
why that's why 23 is a better number than 16.
So in a criminal court with a jury, there's 12 jurors, and they all have to vote the same way?
Usually there's 12 jurors.
About 12.
California has 12 jurors.
Okay. And they all have to vote the same way.
Like
If one person holds out, it's
in a criminal
mistrial?
case, I think they all have to vote to convict. I think in certain civil cases, you can have 10 out of 12
Okay.
or 9 out of 12 vote, and it still counts as a conviction. I'm not a lawyer. Do not accept my legal advice. Except this. It's better not to talk.
Okay. Do the charges look like they're going to stick?
Well, they have stuck because they're charges.
Okay. Is that what it means when
Like if the charges don't stick, it would be like the prosecutor's like, oops, we're
Well, I
going to
heard-
uncharge you.
there's going to be motion to dismiss?
There's going to be lots of motions.
And if it gets dismissed, that means the charges didn't stick, right?
Maybe, but I mean, like if you're found not guilty, it doesn't mean it didn't stick. It means you were found not guilty.
Okay. What does it look like he's going to be guilty?
Well, I think he's guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actually know if he's. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's guilty of this. We know he wrote the checks.
Right. The evidence is pretty clear. He wrote checks, falsifying business records, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a jury could say, well, we don't really think that's a crime.
But if there's a single MAGA person on the jury, it's acquittal, right? Or no, it's mistrial, I guess. If they can't agree on a verdict.
If they can't
it's
agree on a
mistrial?
verdict, it's a mistrial, and you would start all over again. I don't know if they would start this all over again, because I'm personally hoping by the time this is all over, he's already in Gitmo. And then they won't be able to bring him back from Gitmo.
Is it likely he'd be sent to Gitmo for this?
Fingers crossed, man.
But Gitmo is a federal.
Well, yeah, it'd be a federal crime. But there are some potential federal crimes out there for him.
But this crime we're talking about, the one he just got indicted for, is
So
a state
it's-
crime.
yeah, it's a state
New York
crime.
state crime. Okay.
And it's weirdly it's generally a misdemeanor.
Unless it's in the
Unless
purpose of
it's
another crime.
done in the furtherance of another crime,
Yes.
in which case it's a felony.
Right. So that's what people are talking about. It's going to be felony.
Yeah. I mean, even convicted of a misdemeanor would be a thing, because I don't know that we've ever had a president convicted of a misdemeanor after he served in
Well,
office.
there's no jail time, though.
No, misdemeanor. Up
Is
to
he
a year
still
in
called
jail.
a felon? No,
No,
you're not
he's
felon.
only
He's not a
a
felony.
felon if you're convicted of a felony.
So he's only a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How the prosecutors screen for like a mega jurist? Like the prosecutors don't want a mega jurist. Now, how could they word the questions to figure out who's mega?
That's a great question.
Because they can't ask.
For which there are some very, very, very highly paid consultants.
Can you ask?
I have suggestions, like maybe ask them for the last 5 years of their Facebook feed. And if they have a Facebook feed, don't let them be on the jury. Because Facebook is terrible.
I have a Facebook feed.
Yes. You and I should not be on juries. I've been around you long enough.
I've tried to be on a jury.
Yeah,
I tried really hard.
I tried once. I've been called, but I've never.
I went to court. It made it to jury selection.
Yes.
They didn't get to me.
Okay.
I was so upset that I went to the trial anyways, every day.
Well,
5
that's-
hours a day.
That's what being retired gets you.
Yeah, exactly.
I was an alternate, so I went to a trial
Did you?
and sat in the juror box.
But you know had to.
But I didn't have to vote
Okay.
because the other 12 of them,
All made it through.
like I left on a Friday afternoon, I turned to the guy next to me. I said, "Email me, let me know what happened."
Okay.
And he emailed me Monday morning, and he went, "Yeah, we found that guy guilty."
That guy was guilty.
I'm like, "That guy was guilty."
guilty as sin.
I mean, I couldn't tell him that before I left, but after
Oh,
the
you couldn't?
trial,
Oh.
I was like, "Yeah, that guy was guilty."
It was fun because I was hanging out with
I was
the
like, "Why did it
jurors.
take you an hour and a half?" And they were like, "Really, we were just stuck on one thing. We all knew he was guilty. We were just trying to rationalize it to ourselves."
In my case, I got to talk with the jurors in the hallway,
Yeah.
but I could Google the case and get more
And you
information.
couldn't.
I couldn't tell them about it or do
No,
anything.
No, you
Yeah.
couldn't.
Okay. Are convicted felons allowed to run for president?
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
Can he vote?
It depends on the state.
Florida.
In Florida, you have to have served your sentence,
Okay.
and then the state has to have agreed to restore your voting rights, which has
Oh.
been a big thing in Florida because they passed this proposition to restore everyone's voting rights, and then Florida was like, "Well, no, we're not going to let the brown people do that."
Oh. If Governor DeSantis is in charge, he might have a
He might.
hand in.
He might, yeah.
Okay. Can a sitting president be indicted?
It's a great question.
To which you don't have an answer?
I think in the last term, Barr said a sitting president cannot be indicted federally.
Federally.
It is unknown whether a state can indict him.
Hasn't been. Hasn't come
No,
up yet.
most presidents don't. This is not a thing most presidents need to worry about.
Yeah, but this president's extra crimey.
Yeah.
Okay. So the trial, when will it start?
They said the next hearing is in December.
Okay.
I think we'll be lucky if it's happened by next June.
Oh, I heard it's going to start in January. Now the trial itself shouldn't take long, right?
No,
Like
no,
a
but
couple
they'll
weeks?
just push to delay it.
Oh, okay. Does he have to appear in court during the trial?
I don't think he has to. I mean, he has the right to,
Uh huh.
but I'm not sure he's required.
Okay. Is that for any crime or just him in this case?
I don't know that you
'Cause
ever have to go to court.
In Law and Order, the defendants are always there.
Well, it makes better TV.
Yeah, that does. Okay.
Like if you want to be there, they have to make sure you can be there.
Okay.
They can't keep you in your cell and just convict you in absentia.
I got a feeling though, if he was allowed to be there, he'd just be interrupting the entire time, and would they send him off in that case?
Like shackle them. They've gagged defendants
Gagged.
before.
I could see him being gagged.
That's too much to hope for.
Could he be convicted before November 2024?
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say he's convicted and he's sitting there in jail. Can
Yeah.
he be elected president if he's in jail?
Yes.
Can he pardon himself?
For a federal crime, yes.
But not
this is a
this
state crime.
State crime, so he
No.
can't. So if he was elected president, would they let him out to be president, or would he
It's
have to be
hard to
president
say.
from jail?
I am really hoping the American judicial system never needs to make that decision. I could certainly see a judge saying, the sentence for this crime is not terribly long, and we are going to release you from jail and allow you to serve out the remainder of your sentence in home confinement with a little ankle thing on,
With
which
the-
is not allowed to leave the grounds of the White House.
The home would be the White House. Okay. Could he go on the lam?
We
Like-
could.
Like, this is a New York State crime. So if he just never came back to New York State,
All states, since we are part of the federal government, have agreed to cooperate with one another with respect to returning, for example, convicted criminals.
would the Secret Service, stop him from being taken away by bounty hunters?
These are all great questions. I mean,
Like
not
dog
only the
bounty
Secret
hunters?
Service are sworn agents of the law. They,
Uh-huh. They'd
if
help
they are
cooperate.
standing next to him, their duty is not merely to protect him from assassination, but also to put shackles on him and return him to a court which has
Oh, that'd be good.
ordered his incarceration. But who knows? We're in uncharted territory, is what I'm
Now,
saying.
when he was arrested, how come he didn't get a mugshot taken like everybody else?
Apparently, mugshots are optional.
Oh,
He
whose
did get fingerprinted.
whose option? Like he can choose not to be
No, I
mugshotted?
think like the state is like, we know
Oh.
what you look like. We don't need a mugshot.
Okay. Is it okay that he's saying bad things about the judge?
I mean, it's not
Is it
a crime.
a crime?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Someone would have to charge him. Someone would have to go to court. I mean,
They have to all over again.
the First Amendment is broad, but judges have a lot of power and don't like to have their families threatened with murder. So time will tell.
You could have a gag order, I heard.
That is, yeah, he could.
Now let's say Donald Trump goes to jail. Does the Secret Service go to jail with him?
Yes. I mean,
Are they in his cell?
I think,
or an adjacent cell?
I think it is very unlikely he goes to a regular jail.
Would they
He
build a
is
special
going to
one for
go
him?
to a. He's going to go to a place where his life can be protected to the as much as possible, which means he would probably be in the equivalent of solitary confinement.
Would they make a special jail for him, or they have
plausibly might,
Or
or
do
they
white
might
collar
dedicate
criminals-
a wing.
the white
You
collar
know, they
criminals
might take
get a
one of them
better
jail pods and have him be the only prisoner in there.
Would he meet up with his old friend, who's the CFO? Of
No,
Trump
because he'll be out
Organization?
already.
Oh, he'll be out.
And he's just in Rikers.
Rikers.
Yeah,
That
he's in
sounds like a
Rikers.
pretty.
It's a jail. Yeah,
It's a
it's a
pretty-
jail in New York. It's on an island.
Wow.
It's not a nice place.
Aren't there nicer places for white collar criminals?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Why didn't he go there?
Because it's in New York. And if you're in New York City, you go to Rikers.
Oh, okay. Now the Secret Service agents, can they be armed?
I would assume. I would assume so, but
Because if they get jumped by other
they're
prisoners
in the
and
jail,
get the gun,
and you'd think the jail would have. I mean, no one in jail has guns, so probably not.
Okay.
They'd probably not be allowed to be armed, but they would probably also have a perimeter so that they could ensure that no one could get in or out to injure the former president.
okay. Is he going to go crazy? Because I heard like solitary confinement would drive
Well, I
you
don't
nuts
think it
in
would
a week.
actually be solitary confinement, but
Oh,
I think it would be. He would be in an area he was not in the general population.
so he can't get shivved that easily.
I think the chances of him getting shivved in jail are very low.
Okay. Does he have access to the internet while he's in prison?
Probably not.
So he can't be dropping truth.
Can't be on Truth
on
Social?
Truth Social.
No, he could. Yeah, he could tell his lawyer, "Here's what I want you to toot." I don't know what. Here's what I want you to truth. Here's what I want you to truth. All
make-
caps.
He should making claims instead.
He's not going to do that.
Not going. I know he's not. Because we're too liberal. We're too left wing on claims.
Okay.
Go to javroll.com/claims
Yeah.
to join up.
It's like Twitter
But better.
in that it's a dumpster fire.
It's not a dumpster fire. We haven't had to delete any claims yet.
Okay.
So there you go.
Do you have an admin dashboard where you could delete a tweet, could delete a claim, or do you have to actually type the SQL to do it?
I have to type in the SQL to do it.
Yeah.
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 Because it hasn't really been an issue yet.
I'm just saying, maybe you want to, maybe a little proactive. Build yourself a nice admin dashboard.
Okay. Does the Constitution require the president to be at any particular place at any particular time? Like, does it say he has to be at
No.
the Capitol for inauguration?
No,
Okay. So he could serve from inside jail.
I would assume so.
Okay. So this is not the only crime he has to worry about, the only indictment. There's like other things in the hopper, aren't there?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a rape case by E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah,
Is that
civil.
criminal or civil?
It's a civil case.
Okay. See, rapey seems more criminal than civil.
Yes, but the statute of limitations expired for the
Oh.
rape,
Okay.
and the state would have to prosecute the rape. I believe she's suing him for defamation,
Oh, by saying she's not his type?
for saying she's not my type and disparaging her in other ways.
Okay. And that case
There's-
is starting soon, right? The trial?
It's supposed to start
April?
like in a week or two.
Yeah.
There's the top secret documents just scattered around case.
Yep. Uh-huh.
A
That's
couple
gonna be federal,
days
right?
ago, that would be federal.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that we just arrested a young 21-year-old today for just scattering classified documents around, and he is going to jail, and he is going to get dishonorably discharged from his army job,
And he might get
and
shivved.
he might get sent to Gitmo.
Yeah. Okay. So
They
he's
are
facing
looking at prosecuting Trump for collecting money after January 6th, supposedly for the defense of January 6th defendants, and then not using it for that.
that. Oh. Can he use his campaign contributions for his legal fees?
If the charges are related to an election, then I believe you can use campaign funds for them. If they're related to a personal matter, then I don't think you can. So top secret
falsifying-
documents are not campaign related.
But paying off a porn star not to talk might be campaign related.
It might be, but he used business funds for
Oh,
it.
he did. Okay.
And there might be rules that say you can't use campaign funds to pay off porn stars you've slept with. I mean, I think that the legislators might have thought of that one before. Because they're not big on sleeping with porn stars.
I thought they were really into that.
Well, but they don't want it. They want to be publicly against it, even if
Oh.
they actually sleep with porn stars.
All right. It's like
And
abortion.
hit 'em off.
He's got January 6 problems
January 6th.
because the committee referred a bunch of things to the Justice
To the
Department.
Justice Department, and he
And
has a
they're
couple
looking into it.
civil cases from people in Congress. Swalwell and a few others are suing him for, I think, dereliction of, I don't remember.
Oh. And then when he tried to switch Georgia's vote,
Yes. and
Georgia
the-
is
the
looking-
calls to influence the Georgia election.
so that'd be another state crime. right?
That would be both a state crime and a federal crime.
Oh.
Because it's a federal election.
Would he be 2 trials? Or
It is unknown whether, if Georgia charges him, whether he could petition to get it moved to federal court. And if he got it moved to federal court, and if he managed to push it back, and if he managed to get elected president, then he could pardon himself of it.
okay. So we don't like federal courts because he pardons people.
He's got to be president to pardon
I
people.
mean, there's other friends of his who were convicted in federal court who he pardoned.
Correct.
And so now we all want to do state crimes. Yeah. You have to be governor of like Georgia, I guess, to pardon himself then. Could you be governor of
Or
Georgia
he
and
could
president
get
at the same
governor
time?
of Georgia. You cannot be president and hold any other office at the same time.
Oh, is that in the Constitution?
Yes. I forget where.
And so are these going to come up before the next election?
I
are they
think
slow moving, or are they
the
gonna-
documents, top secret documents case will almost certainly get referred back to the Justice Department for action this year.
Okay.
And I think there's a good chance the Justice Department would file charges and try to get it to happen. They have rules about how close to an election you have to be, but we're still quite a ways away from there.
We're a year and a half,
Yeah.
right? That's not,
Yeah, but they try not to do anything, from shortly before the primaries, which could decide the issue, which is 9 months from now.
Looks like we're out of time.
Looks like we're out of time, man.
So thanks for stopping by.
Oh, good to see you, man.
Good to see you again.
See you in 4 months. What are we talking about Bitcoin-wise next month?
Are you going to be here for Bitcoin?
No, I'll probably be back. I'm not going to
Okay.
talk about Bitcoin, though.
We'll talk about the conviction.
Okay,
I
sure.
guess.
That'll be
The-
fun.
Yeah.
That'll be lots of fun. Look, we're still seeing credits. Normally
We're
they're
still
gone
on?
by